So we looked at the 3 previous tanks in the last episode, many of which are your entry-level boring tanks. It's kind of having to choose between the paint dry, the grass grow, or even the formation of eroded rock. Anyways, still being a tough one to decide on which tank we should look at next, I decided on a tank and nation to start with. However, based on the last result, many of you thought I would be going up the American research tree first. Well, not quite. Instead, I looked at the research tree played by most, and only because of its overwhelming interest and some questionable reasons, I thought it would be appropriate. Germany. And not just any German tank, but the one that really started the whole craze. Yes, there were a few others before this one, but this one really just sets the tone. It's the Panzer. The Panzer is the common name primarily used for a family of German tanks in World War II. The official German designation for this tank was the Panzer II, abbreviated PZKPFW2. Now most of us cannot pronounce that, so we will just stick with the Panzer. Although the vehicle had originally been designed as a stopgap while larger, more advanced tanks were being developed, it nonetheless went on to play an important role in the early years of the Second World War, during the Polish and French campaigns, and even in the development of other tanks later on. The Panzer II was the most numerous tank in the German panzer divisions at the beginning of the war. It was used both in North Africa against the Western Allies and on the Eastern Front against the Soviet Union. It was everywhere. First true production model of the Panzer II, the ALS A or Model A, included an armor upgrade of 14.5mm on all sides that included the floor plate. It had also an improved transmission. It was practically as useful as a rubbish bin on wheels, if you ask me. It entered the production in July 1937 and was superseded by the ALS B in December 1937, so just a couple of months. And then subsequently in Model C onwards from June 1938 through April 1940. So you effectively got the ALS A, the ALS B, which is the Model A, Model B, running for 6 months apiece. And then finally they kind of settled on the Model C. A total of 1,113 examples of this ALS A, B and C tanks were built from March 1937 all the way through to April 1940. There were quite a number of companies involved: Alket, Famo, Daimler-Benz, Henschel, MAN, MIAG and Wegmann. That's a lot of companies, if you ask me. So let's take a look and see how this tank actually performs in the game as compared to its historical purpose. It's definitely not a tank that you want to go in first, because in all honesty, you've only got a little 20mm AA gun on it. It's going to be very, very tough to, get that first shot in. So, in all honesty, you're just kind of a sitting duck. You want to just sit back and just watch them go in. Earlier versions of the ALS C have a rounded hull front, but many had additional armor plates bolted onto it, and the turret as well. Some are also retrofitted with commander's cupolas, and that is what we have here today in this model. Let's have a look at the left. Nothing there. Can't really spot anything yet, and if I move out a little bit, there's something over there. Fire! Oh well, there we go. No. Ah, this is not good. This is not good. Come on, shoot, shoot, shoot! Yes! Okay. I mean, this tank ticks all the wrong boxes. It really should not be doing this well. It just amazes me to see that if you do play it right, it can move for you in all the right ways. Oh no, something in front of me! Hoot, hoot, hoot! Get back, get back, get back, get back, get back! Okay, hold on. I have a chance. That's another one! This model tank only comes in at the battle rating of 1.3, so it still fits very well in the tin can rating of tanks. And that is exactly why this tank does so well. You see, 1.3 tanks are still very fragile, so with that 20mm cannon, it does enough to take them out, even though the magazine is stupidly limited.
Right, so the little AA gun is kind of doing its magic. But look at this. You literally have 10 bullets in the magazine. So this itself is a little bit of a problem. Let's see if I can sneak in something over here. Oh, I'm overextending a lot, but that's it.
Now that we've covered the base model, to which comes as quite a surprise, I have some more news for you. There's another Panzer II we should take a look at, a slightly more upgraded version. Continuing the conventional design of the Alf C, historically the Alf F, or version F's superstructure front, was made from a single piece of armor plate with a redesigned visor. So, how does the game compare to this fact? Well, it's exactly that.
So now I'm in the version F of the Panzer II. Its turret rotation I feel is a little bit quicker than that of the C. It's got a bit more armor. It's got a newer gun as well, but really it's still just a 20mm AA gun. So you're gonna have to be very careful when engaging with the opponents, because one, like I said with the previous version, is that you're really just a sidekick in this fight. You're not a main tank. You're not supposed to be going up front and brawling basically with the others.
There's some drawbacks to this version of the tank, as with the C-Class. A really small magazine. I mean, what were they thinking?
And we are now set at 1.7, so we got slightly tougher opposition waiting for us a couple of roads down the road. And 1.7, I mean realistic. I'm not talking arcade battles, because let's be honest, that's for memes or walking memes and scrub lords. Anyway, let's move forward and see.
Though it has a newer gun, the common drawbacks on the tank as mentioned still creates the same challenges, though survivability is a little better.
Can't see it though. That's death waiting for me. Critical hit, yes!
Factually, there were some minor alterations of the suspension with this version, and a new commander's cupola as well. Weight increased to 9.5 tons, and from March 1941 to July 1942, only 509 were built. Historically, this was the final major tank version of the Panzer II series.
Panzer II F and C-Class, and in fact I think all of them, they just really have got such tiny magazine sizes. There's something over there waiting for me. Oh, he just bounced that like it was no one's business. Got a little bit more protection this time. Oof. Come on, that's the protection. You kind of have to go back and... oh, is that my turret gone? Yes, that's my turret gone. I'm out of here.
I mean, it runs very similar to that of the version C, but because you go up against heavier tanks, it's really not a great tank for its battle rating. But before we sign off, there was one version of the tank that developers decided to make a premium. I wonder why. The Panzer II Alf C DAC is a premium rank 1 German light tank with a battle rating of 1.3. It's practically a Panzer II C. It was introduced during the closed beta test for ground forces before update 1.41, so it's been around for quite some time.
Okay, so now we're in the Panzer II C DAC version. This is a premium tank, obviously. The camouflage is the first thing that you'll know or notice. Pretty much the North African look of the German Afrika Korps.
The Panzer II C DAC has a specific camouflage. DAC stands for Deutsches Afrika Korps, the infamous German tank division commanded by Erwin Rommel in Northern Africa. It's a quick and nimble vehicle just as with the C-Class, doesn't have any firepower to follow it up, and it's limited by a badly sized magazine. So what's the benefits? It's pretty much a premium tank with all the upgrades unlocked.
Not much different to the actual Panzer II C except the camouflage and the extra talisman that you get because it's a premium vehicle. So it'll help you with some RP farming, but you're still pretty much stuck with the same challenges as what the F class and the various others have as well. See, that one there was a pretty easy takedown.
So after driving this tank around, it's pretty much the C-Class version with some extra camouflage. I guess driving around as one of Rommel's tankers could give you some form of weird sensation. So, my final take on the Panzer II series is that whilst it had real historical significance in the Second World War, I feel in War Thunder it becomes more of a you want to get it over and done with type of tank. I mean, it really struggles in its class due to its lack of firepower and slow turret rotation, and especially the small magazine size. And of course, if you're a player like me. However, that being said, we must remember that during the Second World War, there were plenty of different tank designs built on the Panzer II chassis, which really shows that even if in the game it doesn't perform so well, its design resonated in tanks that did. And on that note, we will catch you in the next episode, and thank you once again for watching.